talk to health tech marketing leaders all the time. So we have many clients we're working with, but also we have a community of health tech marketing leaders called the Health Tech Marketing Network, where we get together and we talk about issues that are important to them. And pipeline growth and all the areas around that always comes up as one, if not the top issue that they're dealing with. And I think the reason why that is that there's been a realization over the last couple of years that the traditional B2B playbook focused on starting with lead generation just doesn't work as well as it had done. Even if it, and frankly, it was never that great, but I think there's a general realization that it just doesn't work anymore. And so what's happening, I think, is that marketers are taking a step back and looking at the buyer journey and really getting to grips with how buyers buy. And the thing that's been changing in terms of the buyer dynamics is a couple of things. First of all, the perennial problem in healthcare, which is sales cycles are long. According to HIMSS, the average sales cycle is 13 plus months in many cases. The buying groups, average buying group is 5 people. That's getting even bigger. And so that's one issue. The other issue, and this is probably the more important issue, is the buyer is in control of the process. So what happens in a typical buyer journey is that for 9 to 10 months of those 13 months, they stay below the surface. So they will not engage with vendors unless they really have to. So they get about 70% of the way through the process. And during that time, as a group, they're researching, they're talking to their peers, they're talking to analysts, they're reading healthcare IT scene, they're looking at HIMSS publications, they're going to shows, and their job is to do the research well so that they can figure out the best way to solve their problem. And here's the really scary fact. 85% of buyers say that they select the first company they call. So when they get through that process of doing the research, they've pretty much made up their mind. And they've made up their mind on who they want to go with, and they've made up their mind on who their requirements are. And so what that means for marketers is that as a community, we basically have to answer 2 questions. Who's in market right now? And how can we get to the top of their list? And so what we're seeing, and the clients that we're working with, are moving away from a focus on generating volumes and quantity of leads to a focus on the quality of the pipeline that they're generating.